Hey everybody, so good to see you. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. My name is Alejandro Bernard, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to play blues in F with the idea of getting you ready to participate in your local jam session. So in this video we're going to be covering how to comp with two hands, how to run a bass line in your left hand, how to play some comping chords in the middle register with both hands, and then towards the end of the video we're going to talk about how to improvise a little bit. And just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. In the description of this video I've included all of the sheet music and the backing track that I use throughout this video. They're going to be great for you to use as a practice resource after you've watched the video. Additionally, if you're a teacher, these are awesome lessons in a can. So if that all sounds square to you, let's get started. So one of the first things that you're going to want to do is to be able to get the bass line in your left hand and the comping chords in your right hand. Let me do that once so you know what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, as you're learning the left-hand bass pattern, I want you to play with what I call marching fingers. And so you're marching them high, and they're like little pistons that they're playing all the way to the bottom of the key. You should feel some resistance at the bottom of the key. And the reason why I want you to play with this type of touch is because it's going to aid in memorizing. It's going to get it into your body a little bit better so that you can just set it and then forget it, like a rotisserie chicken. And why do we want to memorize a left-hand bass pattern? Well, the reason is you can focus your attention onto comping rhythms, you can talk and play at the same time, maybe you can try to solo, but it's just to get this thing on autopilot. That's really what our aim is, okay? What else is going to help us do that is to play with legato fingerings. Everything is smooth and connected from one finger to the next. You don't really want to play the same finger 2 times in a row unless you're sliding like this. Right? But even then, I kind of had to force it. So if you can, prep your turnovers so that you don't run out of fingers, okay? So you have these comping chords and these rhythms, they're all written out. But before you even try to play rhythms, I would just grip them in whole notes. So start with your F7 chord, then you can start with your B flat 7 chord, just so your body gets accustomed to playing these. C minor 7, F7, B flat 7. Now, if these are very new to you, then I would suggest that you learn them in a 2-step process, that you feel the notes under your fingers first before you attempt to play them. And the reason is you're just gaining security. Your fingers, they're going to do this at a really high speed eventually, but they can feel the notes, be secure, and then you can play. If you try to just play them without having that security, then you're not going to learn them as efficiently, and you're probably going to play a wrong note. And a good intermediate before you even go to bass line and chords is to play the root in the left hand. And if you're not sure what the root is, it's labeled above that measure. So you can do it in quarter notes, right? And even these are perfectly fine. You might play through the whole entire form that way, okay? But once you're feeling secure, whole notes in the right hand, and you're walking bass line. So after you've practiced playing the bass line in the left hand and the comping chords in the right hand, now your left hand can play the comping chords and your right hand can play the melody. And here I'm going to put the bass and the drums on so that we can play together. So let's hear what that sounds like. 1, 2, You don't have to necessarily play the exact comping rhythms that are on the sheet. As a general rule, when I'm putting the two hands together, I like to play them in a way that they complement each other. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to just play them at the same time. Right? And that way they function together. So we did bass line and comping. we did comping and melody, and so now we're going to focus on melody and bassline, the final iteration. And this is probably the most challenging of the three because it requires a fair amount of rhythmic coordination. So I like to start with melodies here before I even get into improvising because it gives you something structured and just one thing to practice. So let's hear what that sounds like. I'm going to put on the backing track. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, something like that. After you've learned how to play tenor madness in the right hand and the bass line, then it's time for you to start doing some other melodies. So Billy's Bounce is a great one, Now's the Time, and Sunny Moon for 2, and I've also included those in the description. So let me play through those briefly so you know what they sound like, and that's going to help you get primed to start improvising. So here are those other blues heads with the bass line being played. So another important skill that you should have to participate in a jam session is to be able to comp behind a soloist. And the comping chords that I've shared with you, these are different than the comping chords that you learned from the other sheet. The ones that I'm going to show you now, they're a little bit more open. And it's always good to have a variety of voicings just to keep it interesting for the listener and to keep it interesting for you, of course. So let me play through these and you can hear what it sounds like. And you can treat the sheet as kind of an etude. If you can play all the rhythms that are on this page, then you're going to have a lot of good ammunition to bring to the jam session. But that being said, you don't have to play exactly all the rhythms that I played here. You can play your own rhythms, or you can take some of the rhythms, say, that are in measure 11, and play them on measure 2. And anytime you have the ability to slide a black key to a white key, you can add that little grace note in there. Sounds really good. You can do it on G as well. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that's how you would comp. So let's talk about how to improvise over a blues. And I'll just say right now that in order to gain complete mastery over playing over a jazz blues, it takes a really, really long time. So I'm talking to you, who I presume is the beginning improviser, and so I'm going to give you some tips that are going to help you get started. So one of the most important things you can do is you can just stick to grooving rhythms, stuff that really swings, and try to just lock in rhythmically. And so we're going to do that by limiting the number of notes that you play in your right hand. I'm just going to limit you to 3, maybe 4. Okay, so I'm thinking D, F, A, and if you want to throw an A flat in there, you can even just lock your hand in that grip so you don't have to worry about moving the hand at all. But here I'm going to demonstrate trying to be creative rhythmically. Let's see what that sounds like. So even with just, 4 notes, you can find that rhythmic pocket, be really swinging, and you can come up with some inventive ideas. All right, so nice work, everybody. We made it to the end of the video. Good job. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you got something out of it and found it useful. If you did, let me know in the comments. And if there's stuff that I can improve on or do better, please let me know too. I'm always looking for constructive feedback so I can make this a better experience for you. If you'd like to support me in this channel, you can check out my Patreon page, which I've linked in the description. It's an archive of all the things that I've done over the years, and there's a lot of really unique content that you're not going to necessarily find on this YouTube channel. And if you enjoyed my teaching style and think you'd like to try a one-on-one coaching session, I've included my email in the description, and you can reach out to me and we can try to put something on the books. I'm currently taking online students. All right, everybody, well, make sure you get those resources and get to practicing. I want you to absolutely crush your next jam session when they call a blues, all right? So take care, and I'll see you at the next video.